We have 7 bouts on tap for you tonight. Our first bout will be in the Men's Senior Open 114-pound weight class. And as boxers are waiting to be introduced, Thomas Hewitt-Johnson of St. Joseph, Missouri, from the St. Joe Title Club will be boxing. He's a 12-year vet, only 25 years old, 12-year vet, 70 bouts, and he is a 2012 National Golden Glove bronze medalist. Tommy Hewitt-Johnson will be boxing off against Tevin Moore out of Pound for Pound. He's 23 years old. Conversely, has only had 15 bouts. And you see him, that's Hewitt walking in right now. He's the experienced vet. Many times, he finds himself unopposed. He's a 7-time Casey Golden Glove champion. A lot of that has to do with many times there's just nobody his weight, 114 pounds. And also, there's not many times nobody as good. Thomas Hewitt-Johnson, a lot of experience. 2012 National Gold Bronze medalist, 2008 Under-19 bronze medalist. And in the blue corner, from Pound for Pound, is Tevin Moore. He just recently, not too long ago, originally from St. Louis, made the move to Kansas City. It served him well. Last year, he was the champion at 114 pounds. And 2015, he was also the Ringside World's runner-up, which is the largest amateur boxing tournament in the world, the Ringside World's Championship. Tevin Moore even says he wants to be one of the best ever to lace them up. And you know, he's got a long road ahead of him. Just 15 bouts. Thomas Hewitt-Johnson, 70 bouts. He's in the white trunks, black trim, and the black headgear. Tevin Moore, blue trunks, blue trim, but some snazzy red shoes. As the boxers touch gloves, the referee checks their belts, giving them final instructions. This is actually a rematch of last year's championship bout, which Tevin Moore won. And we're off on the first bout of the Kansas City Golden Gloves for this year's tournament. Both fighting a little more aggressive than typical, still trying to negotiate the inside space. Tevin Moore, long, rangy boxer, likes to stay on the outside, likes to pick his shots, as you can see, and typically lands. Hewitt, on the other hand, the shorter boxer, typically likes to stay on the outside and come with long counters. And you'll see the height difference play a major factor throughout this bout. Tevin Moore also a southpaw, meaning left-handed. And throughout the fight, you may see, they say with the southpaw, you want to keep the outside foot. So your left foot staying on the outside of their right foot, so you have a easy, clear path for the right hand. So see these two jockey for position of the outside leg. Hewitt right now trying to rough things up. Moore content to let him. He's landing his left a little bit, trying to get some angles. Like I said, there's history between these two, and that may be why there's some impassioned physicality from Johnson here. That is not a knockdown. And see the referee warning both boxers about some roughhousing tactics that have gone on early in this fight. Hewitt-Johnson, obviously, seasoned veteran as far as amateurs go. He's trying to get that psychological advantage. And he's bringing the fight right to Moore. Landing a hard left hook right there. Moore responding right back, right uppercut, and again tangled up in the middle. Now, traditional logic might suggest that the inside battle would favor Hewitt-Johnson. Being the shorter-armed fighter, he can land punches a little bit faster, but Moore, very strong on the inside, and he's got these long, rangy arms which are hard to negotiate. Referee orders them to break. Left hands landing for both boxers. Back at it again, tangled up on the ropes. Hewitt, I think, just trying to get under the skin of Moore in a lot of ways. Nice head movement there. Left hand misses and back under the armpit. Also, and Moore now trying to get a little bit on that grappling side too. Getting his back. Final 10 seconds of the round. Hewitt trying to, with a flurry. Moore looking to pot shot. And a fairly even round for both boxers. And again, Tevin Moore out of pound for pound. That is Melvin Wesley in the corner with him. Master Melvin Wesley, as he likes to go by, one of the best coaches in Kansas City, if not the best coach. Pound for pound, Melvin Wesley, actually a former Kansas City Golden Glove champ. He was a very good boxer back in the late 90s. And Hewitt-Johnson out of St. Joe, but he's actually being quartered by Dallas Cook, who's out of Heartland Boxing in Galena, Kansas. Dallas Cook, a former Kansas City Golden Gloves national team coach. And his boxing for him runs right in the family. His own sons, 2 professionals, both with a single loss. Very successful gym he runs out of Heartland. And the ref orders seconds out. And round number 2. This bout is being scored on the 10-point must system. This is a bit different than what we've seen in previous years, where it was 1 punch, 1 point. If you landed 1 punch, like Tevin did right there with that right hook, that would be 1 point. But now it's just the winner of the round gets 10 points, the loser of the round gets 9 points, unless the referee decides that the winner of the round won in such a dominant fashion that maybe it was 10-8 or even 10-7, though that is somewhat rare unless points are deducted. And Hewitt showing no signs of letting down, going right inside again. Right hand lands, but Tevin easily escapes. And Moore looking for that left uppercut. And Hewitt-Johnson kind of grinning to the crowd a bit. You can see he's feeling it. Lead right hand from Johnson. It's the punch of choice against the southpaw. And Hewitt again tying up on the inside. It's interesting to see. Ooh, and Moore lands a hard left uppercut. And Johnson wants to immediately respond, even if it maybe threatens to hit the back of the head of Moore. It's interesting to actually see this much clinching on the inside, initiated by Johnson, who's now shoe shining a little bit and lands a couple of low blows as well, not noticed by the referee. It's interesting to see him tie up, seeing as, you know, the shorter fighter would want to get inside. Obviously, it's the best point of which to reach his opponent. I will say this for Hewitt-Johnson, it's maybe a little atypical to go for these rough housing tactics. I wouldn't necessarily support it, but it does seem to be getting to Moore a bit. And just as I say that, he smoothly glides under a left hand. Left hook lands for Johnson, bounces right back out. Moore ducking to his side. Referee warning him to keep his head up. You must be facing your opponent at all times, even if you are ducking a punch. Hewitt-Johnson back at the body, shoe shining a bit. And just leading with some right hooks and left hooks. This is a much more aggressive Hewitt-Johnson than I'm accustomed to seeing. Moore is sent to his corner to get his jersey tucked in. They want to be sure that they can determine where his waist is. So if any low blows happen, they'll be called accordingly. Coach Wesley gets him tucked back in and they're back at it. Moore comes at him with the jab as 10 seconds remain in the round. Hewitt-Johnson again just pushing him right off of him, showing no love for his opponent Moore. And Moore now just stares at Hewitt-Johnson as Johnson swaggers back to his corner. I think this is a different Tommy Hewitt-Johnson than we are used to seeing. Now, his goal, he says, is to win the National Golden Gloves. He's had several opportunities to do it. Hasn't quite happened yet. But maybe this is the year for him to do so with this new attitude, I guess. His goals after boxing is to judge and officiate boxing shows as well. So he wants to give back to the community a little bit. Graduated from Missouri Western with a degree in media and journalism. Tevin Moore, on the other hand, his goals, as we said, wants to be one of the best ever. And after boxing, wants to continue to help people and make them smile. And the referee is going to instruct them maybe to tone it down a little bit with the physicality. This isn't mixed martial arts. This is the martial art of boxing. And Hewitt-Johnson coming right back at it, not toning down for anything. Moore. Now he's content to bounce on the outside. He's not letting Johnson get on the inside this round. Lands a hard left hand, dodges a left of Hewitt. And now it's Moore who's clinching up on the inside. Referee warns Moore not to push off. Both boxers exchange a series of hooks, Moore ending it with a check hook of his own. And he is landing that right hook and showing some fine head movement at the moment. And Hewitt maybe getting a little dirty with his punches. Ref isn't saying anything though, so why am I? And Moore lands a hard left hand there. Moore really pulling out the tricks of head movement and landed some nice check right hooks. And now he's feeling a little aggressive. With a little too much gusto apparently, even taking Hewitt and himself down. Hewitt-Johnson trying to regroup, get right back at it. He knows he's a little bit behind in this round and needs to come back to win it. Hewitt again, flirting with those low blows. Hewitt even picking up a leg that time. I don't know if they got a good wrestling program in St. Joseph, but I'm guessing Tommy Hewitt-Johnson learned a thing or two from the local 5A school. And now the referee is going to take a point away. Hewitt-Johnson not happy about it. It is the championship round. But he's also may have taken away from Moore as well for holding. Maybe that was just an official warning. Either way, they're back at it. Hewitt-Johnson desperate to win this round, desperate to come from behind a little bit, landing a hard right to the body. Now he's just looking to work no matter what's happening with each other's arms as they're tangled. Tevin Moore, just 15 bouts into his amateur career and impressively developing already that early into his career and showing off everything he's learned thus far. Hewitt-Johnson also showing off everything he's learned, even to the point of touching the limits of the rules. Some nice inside action here. Hewitt-Johnson definitely getting off the most punches. Don't know about how many effectively landing. And it's the final 10 seconds of the final round of the bout. Both men looking for those last second points. And as much of the fight lasted, so did the fight end with a little bit of roughhousing, a little bit of inside action. And no doubt, whoever wins, they know they were in a fight. That was a very physical contest, especially for 114 pounds. Tommy Hewitt-Johnson, a former 7-time KC Golden Gloves champ, looking to take that crown back from Tevin Moore.
We have a winner tonight. First of all, make some noise to both these boxers out here this evening.
Audience showing their appreciation for the two boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner comes out of the blue corner, Tevin Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the doctor.
Reigning, defending, and still your 114-pound Kansas City Golden Glove champion, Tevin Moore from Pound for Pound. He'll be going to Salt Lake City with the rest of the Kansas City Golden Glove team to look for a national Golden Glove title of his own and to bring back the gold for Kansas City. Tevin Moore showing a lot of guts and grit, but Tommy Hewitt-Johnson accounted himself well as well. Tevin Moore just coming out with the cleaner shots.
Black smoke pouring out a tailpipe down a dirt road. Barbed wire fence posts and blue skies forever. White frame farmhouse with a front porch view. They say some souls were just born to roam. And I grew up thinking I was wrong. But I'm drawn to Kansas, where I come from. Like a sunflower follows the sun.
Up next, 132-pound men's senior open. Devon Campbell of Turner Boxing Club facing Dan Abram of Community Boxing. Now, the first thing when you look at these two boxers that you notice, massive height difference. A very large height difference, height advantage for Campbell. But don't be fooled, Dan Abram actually has very long arms for a man his size. And he will use those arms to his advantage, throwing some very awkward shots from very strange angles. And they get right at it. Abram bringing the fight right to Campbell. He's going to have to do that with the height disadvantage, but he's a very aggressive fighter. Both exchanging 1-2s. Abram feeling out the defense of Campbell. Campbell, we mentioned, has some of the best sparring in the area, boxing with the likes of Marcell, Davidson, Marcus Davidson, two boxers we'll see later tonight, former champs themselves. Campbell looking to win his first Kansas City Golden Gloves championship. Abram looking to win his second, winning one in 2011. Not sure if that was a men's senior open championship or a novice championship. Now, if you hear that throughout the night, open means that you've just had more than 10 bouts. More than 10 bouts. The second you get 10 bouts, you're an open boxer. Novice means less than that. And when I say just more than 10, I mean any number more than 10. As we saw in our last fight with Hewitt-Johnson having 70 fights and Moore having about 15. Dan Abram himself, a participant of 54 bouts. Campbell, 7 years experience of his own. Trying to use that to keep Abram on the outside with his long-ranging shots. Abram having a bit of an easy time getting inside, though. We'll see how he uses it through the next 3 rounds. They are fighting 3 3-minute rounds, as these are the finals of the Men's Senior Open tournament. Campbell even trying to push Abram back into the ropes, and he's finding a flurry of punches each time he goes for it. Now, the problem also with being a taller fighter on the inside is just wearing out your arms. You got to move them so much more with a thudding shot, whereas shorter fighters are able to keep those much shorter shots, shorter hooks, and maybe get to save a little bit of extra stamina. And as you can see, Abram a bit of a stouter built compared to Campbell's leaner frame. This is in the 132-pound weight class, or excuse, yes, 132-pound weight class. Abram with a nice hook. And he has landed some good lefts. Campbell ends it with a short right hook. This is another southpaw orthodox matchup. Left-hander versus a right-hander. Abram in the blue corner being the right-hander. And the round ends with Abram having a short left hook. And we will be joined briefly by the winner of our first bout, Tevin Moore. He joins me now. So Tevin, Tommy Hewitt-Johnson came out, had a bit of a rough tactic out there. How'd you deal with that?
I just followed the game plan. I listened to what my coach wanted me to do. He wanted me to box, be smooth, be sharp, not get hit, counter him when he was coming in, and just make him look off balance. And I thought I did very well.
And speaking of which, here's his coach, Master Melvin Wesley, former Kansas City Golden Glove champ himself. How did Moore do?
I thought he did excellent. You know, I want to just keep him back and keep doing what he's doing. The kid can't get next to him, you know. I believe he's better than him on his worst day, you know. I believe he's better than him. So he just keep doing what he's doing, keep him at bay. Ain't no need to get in no fight. Just keep him back and, you know, let him run into the punches. We'll be good all night, you know.
And up next is the Nationals in Salt Lake City. How do you feel you're going to do?
As long as I got God and Melvin Wesley, I can't lose, baby.
No doubt.
All right, you have anything else to say?
God bless everyone.
All right, well, thank you so much. Congratulations, sir. And in round number 2, Abram Campbell, the championship for the 132-pound weight class. Abram not letting up in the second round. Many times when you get to this level of boxing, the local level of amateur boxing, most of the decisions are determined by who has the better conditioning. And in a fight like this, it's going to be a war of attrition. And Abram just not letting up, starting first and ending it. Campbell landing some straight lefts. Both now taking a break. Campbell using the opportunity to use his range a bit. Though every time he's throwing that left, I see him coming inside and giving up a bit of his height. That's been to Abram's advantage so far. Conventional logic would say the taller boxer would want to stay outside of those shorter arms of Abram. And Abram, this is maybe the first moments that we're seeing him backing up consistently. Though now they're tied up. Boxers reset. Campbell the first to land his shot. Left uppercut. And now landing with the right hook. Abram retaliating but not getting anything clean to land yet. Campbell with those long arms is able to just cover his entire body when he just gets inside his stance. And it looks like Campbell settled down a bit. He's starting to land the cleaner blows, the cleaner punches. Abram maybe not being able to rough up quite as much as he was in the first round. And just as I say that, landing a left hook. Though many times it's not the actual punches you throw that wears you down, it's the punches you're taking that wears you down. So Abram, doesn't matter how good a condition you are, you keep getting hit with those clean shots, maybe slowing down on that inside action. Though, seems he's found his second wind in this second round, coming back hard, blocking a left and coming back with his own. Final 10 seconds of the round. Campbell ends with a flurry of straight punches, and they're up in the corner. And Abram gets the last punch. Greg Suttington in the corner of Dan Abram. Not sure what he's telling him, but I'm sure he's going to have to use every piece of that advice. to get past that long range. Campbell letting Abram in early on in the round, and Abram taking advantage of every second of it, throwing a multitude of flurry of punches. And one of Abram's coaches, Lawrence Abdallah, yelling to keep going, keep going. They want to wear Campbell down. This is the final round of the 132-pound championship bout. As the expression goes, what are you saving it for? Abram landing with a right, receives a right of his own. Now content to shoe shine a little bit. Campbell looks for an angle, barely missing. And these two boxers, a little bit worn down, activity slowing down. Though Campbell rejuvenated a bit, pushing Abram back to the ropes, even willing to get inside just as he can be the more aggressive boxer. Hard check hook and then bouncing back out is Campbell. Now Campbell actually wants to go into criminal law to become an FBI agent and detective after he's done with boxing. Interesting little factoid. Lands a straight left, now a right hook on Abram. Boxers exchanging combinations throughout this entire fight. It's been nonstop. I think the crowd isn't really giving these two the credit they deserve just because they're taking it for granted. It's been nonstop from the beginning. Series of hooks from Abram. Coach is instructing Abram to throw his right hand. Campbell now using his size to his advantage, trying to wear down Abram by just leaning on him, and that does exhaust a boxer. Both with a little bit of space, savoring the time off. Now Abram right back to work. Now Campbell looking to clinch. Abram taking advantage, landing to the body, to the head. He doesn't have the size to be able to push Campbell back, it seems, but he's at least landing even if he's stepping back. Final 10 seconds of the fight. Abram looking to finish strong. Series of hooks, nice head movement. Campbell responds with the left and they miss, and that's how we're gonna end this fight. Both boxers should be proud of their performance tonight. Abram gets his headgear removed. Campbell goes and congratulates his just recent opponent, and that's as close as they've been tonight without hitting each other. And many times, I wouldn't say a boxer's opinion is, when they're in the fight, is much good for how the judges saw the fight, but you can definitely tell how the boxers saw their performance by their body language. Abram, if I'm just speculating, looks like he's proud of his performance, doesn't really know how the judge's decision is going to go, and I'll tell you right now, I'm in the same boat. Proud of both of their performance, but I have no idea how the judges are going to call this one. But it seems we do have the final results. The referee is calling them to the center of the ring. Both boxers shaking hands, embracing.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for these boxers out here tonight.
And now let's listen in on the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner for 2016 KC Golden Gloves Championship for the Finch Senior Open. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is fighting out of the blue corner,
Dan Abram of Community Boxing prevails. He is your 132-pound Kansas City Golden Glove champion. Dan Abram finally breaking through. He's a finalist in 2013, a finalist in 2014, a finalist in 2015, and he comes back to finally win in this 2016. Marcell Davidson and Anthony Adams in the 141-pound men's senior open weight class. Marcell Davidson from Turner Boxing Academy, as you see on your screen. He was last year's champion. He also fresh off a win at the Sugar Burt Boxing Championship. He is a two-time Kansas City Golden Gloves champion, winning in 2014, 2015, looking for a third consecutive victory. His brother, also a Kansas City Golden Glove champion, Marcus Davidson, we'll be seeing him right after this bout. Marcell fighting for 7 years, 19 years old. In the blue corner, also out of Turner Boxing Academy, Anthony Adams. Both these boxers from the same gym. Now, it's a little bit awkward going off against somebody that you're used to training with, sparring with, but it's a sign that you're getting good sparring when you're meeting each other in the finals. Anthony Adams from Kansas City, Missouri. He's 19 years old, been boxing for 4 years. He's had 33 fights already in 4 years. He was a 2013 Kansas City Golden Gloves champion. I believe that was a novice division championship, and a 2013 ringside world champion. Once again, this is for the 141-pound weight class championship. The winner of this goes on to Salt Lake City, Utah, to represent Kansas City in the Golden Glove Nationals. Let's get started. Marcell Davidson touching gloves with Anthony Adams. Both of them southpaws. Anthony Adams in the blue corner wearing the white trunks with gold trim. Davidson in the black trunks with gray trim, wearing the red gloves. Fighting someone out of your own gym isn't foreign to Marcell. Actually, last night, to get to this moment, Marcell had to beat one of his own stable mates to get to the championship round. And showing that the familiarity maybe doesn't breed contempt, but certainly doesn't breed, I don't know, what would you call that? Letting them up on them? I don't know. Either way, they're going at it. Both of these boxers, similar styles, like to stay within range of punching, but not necessarily get inside and brawl. They like to have room to throw their combinations. Davidson getting the advantage of the ropes there. Adams looking to counter to no avail. Exchanging jabs. Davidson, as we said, he's looking for his third consecutive Kansas City Golden Glove championship. His goals in boxing to be a star, whatever that may entail. After boxing, he wants to become a police officer. Recently coming off a victory in the Sugar Burt Boxing Championships in Branson, Missouri. Also did very well in the U.S. Nationals just last year. And maybe not boxing in the tournaments that would rank him to where he's not in the top 10 yet of the USA Boxing national rankings, but very well may be one of the best boxers in the U.S. Both boxers exchanging hooks. Davidson ending it with straight punches. Davidson controlling the center of the ring so far against Adams. Not necessarily a bad thing. Adams likes to stay on the outside, but definitely giving Davidson the run of the ring. This is on the 10-point must system, so things like ring generalship are taken into account when judging the fights. Series of hooks. Anthony Adams responds accordingly. Final seconds of the round. Davidson trying to end strong. Maybe a bit of a
As smokers, people acknowledge the personal effect cigarettes have on themselves. But oftentimes, they forget to take into consideration the effect it has on others.
Referee asks for seconds out. And we're about to start round number 2 of our 141-pound championships. Davidson looking to work the jab early in this second round. Adams trying to dictate a little bit more than he did in the first round. Not landing cleanly so far, but staying aggressive. Davidson doubles up the hook on the right. And now we're seeing a bit of a role reversal. This time Adams dominating the inside of the ring. Davidson, I don't know if he's going for something different or if maybe there's just a momentary, lapse in aggression. And Adams just gives up the center of the ring this time. Davidson, as we said, brother to Marcus Davidson, who we'll see in our next bout. Both of those two, some of the top amateurs in the country. Not only getting the best sparring in the area, but maybe having one of the top coaches in the country in John Brown. Though it's interesting to see both of these boxers and most of the boxers from Turner Boxing Academy that we'll see tonight don't necessarily fight in the John Brown style. He likes to train people to be aggressive in the Mike Tyson style of TikTok boxing, but what we're seeing tonight, we're producing a lot of slick boxers as well. People who like to stay on the outside, use their speed. Both of these, great examples of that. Adams getting the best of those change of hooks. Looking to follow up is Davidson, though, trying to get those points back. Like I said, both these two don't really like to get inside, like to use their space, like to look for clean punches. It's kind of a battle of two gunfighters, just looking to see who gets off the cleaner shot, the faster shot. Adams coming with a combination. Davidson responding. Maybe a sign of an intensifying round a bit. Adams doing a good job whenever he's countering Davidson. Maybe not just doing the best when he's trying to back Davidson up. 10 seconds left in the round. Many times boxers have a chance to kind of steal the round a little bit, especially on this 10-point must system. Adams landing a nice right and tries to end with a combination, even if it is from the corner. Very even round, could have gone to either boxer. I definitely thought that was an improvement for Anthony Adams, who's landed some clean, straight shots. Very aggressive, clean, straight shots. And it'll be interesting to see how these two make adjustments. This is your third and final round, as the announcer tells the audience. And with a bout like this, where a lot of it just has to do with ring generalship, clean, effective punching, it's very hard to determine, very subjective. And it may come down to this round. And seconds out, we're going to kick off the third round of this action. Kansas City Golden Gloves, the longest running sporting event in the city, more than 80 years. True story, that's a true fact. It's a true fact. Our cameraman looked over at me and he was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. Very good stuff going on. And now, in the 80-plus years leading to this moment, and it's an exciting time to be a part of the sport, and as you can see from great talent that we'll have here. Not only are we seeing two boxers face off, but we're seeing the formation of the Kansas City Golden Gloves national team. And sometimes And the bit of the Kansas City style, I feel like, has changed over the past few years. In the past, Kansas City boxers, mostly very professional style, very aggressive style. Saw a lot of people like to get inside, similar to a Mike Tyson type, as Adams lands a nice right hook. But now we're seeing a lot more boxers like this, prototypical of maybe a hybrid between, I'm not even going to make a comparison that's going to embarrass me, but basically what these two guys look like. You know, high-speed chest types, like to stay on the outside, like to find their clean punches, but a lot of punches, very aggressive boxing styles, very aggressive counter punchers. And we've seen the aggression pick up a bit in this third round. Both of these fighters knowing the decision may be a bit in doubt. Davidson landing a nice left. And that may be an opening to maybe put it on Adams a little bit. Davidson, another nice left, looking to be the aggressor in this final round. If you want to land big shots, the third round's the one to do it. Defense is a little bit slower. People are a little bit more tired. And honestly, after getting hit so many times, you're just kind of a little bit more okay with it. Adams, white trunks, gold trim. Davidson in the black trunks, silver trim. Missing with a 1-2. Now, the thing about these two boxers, it seems like whoever's stepping forward is getting all the space that they want. Whenever Davidson chooses to walk forward, Anthony Adams will walk back. When Adams comes forward with the combination, Davidson's walking back. I would think in this final round, if their coaches maybe have told them to take steps forward, you know, use that little bit of lackadaisical ring generalship to at least make it look like you're being the aggressor, even if you're not throwing the punches. Final 10 seconds of the fight. And Davidson looking to at least try to steal the round if he hasn't already won it. Throwing a flurry of hooks, and that will end this bout. Adams shakes his head, maybe disappointed in his performance, or maybe just disappointed in the closing moments of that round, giving Davidson the better of the final seconds. Adams and Davidson showing a lot of respect for each other. Again, sparring partners, teammates on most days. Marcell, Davidson looking very confident despite that haircut. And the audience showing their appreciation for these two. And we're awaiting the final results. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner tonight. The judges have voted your winner right now, fighting out of the red corner, Marcell Davidson.
And Marcell Davidson taking it. If the fight wasn't indication enough, both of their body language certainly told the story. Our next bout is going to be in the 152-pound weight class. Marcus Davidson and Devonta Jones. Marcus Davidson out of Turner Boxing Academy. That is a gym name that we are hearing a lot of because it is very successful. They have a lot of boxers and a lot of very good boxers. But first, we're going to introduce Marcus Davidson from KCK and Turner Boxing Club. He's been boxing for 7 years, age 20. He's been boxing since he was 13 years old, and he's had 85 bouts. 3-time KC Gloves champion, winning in 2013. Davidson won in 2014. Davidson won in 2015. And now he's looking for his 4th consecutive title. And it's interesting to see how he's going to follow up his brother's performance, winning a KC Gloves title of his own. His goal in boxing, to become the biggest name in boxing. First off, he better make sure he at least tops his brother if he wants to be the biggest name. So we'll see how he follows up facing Devonta Jones from Topeka, Kansas, boxing with Topeka Golden Gloves. Jones has been fighting for 5 years. He's 23 years old. He has 2 kids on the way. This is his first Kansas City Golden Gloves Championship tournament, and he acquitted himself quite well, making it all the way to the finals here in his first KC Gloves Championship. And we're kicking off. Jones starting aggressively, trying to set a tone for this match. Both boxers feeling each other out. Marcus Davidson, who I'll call him by Marcus for the purpose of his brother just competed, but Marcus, a little bit, I wouldn't say less aggressive, but he's definitely more calculated in terms of how he uses his punches, a little bit more sporadic. He likes to really make those shots count. He's in the 152-pound weight class. You got to make them count. This is where the boxers really start getting a lot bigger. And Davidson trying to use that size, pushing Jones into the corner, landing a series of hooks. Jones doesn't look too undeterred. Both exchange a series of lefts. Jones switching to southpaw. In the corner. He gets whacked, but he does get out of the corner. Davidson letting him out as Adams now switches back to orthodox. Maybe just giving Davidson a slightly different look when he was pressed up against the wall as he gets tagged with the right hand. Davidson wearing the red, blue, and silver trunks and landing a furious combination. Oh, and he has landed some hard right hands. And that's going to be an 8 count for Jones. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it is a point deducted from Jones, but the judges certainly do take it into account when they are judging the round. Referee gives an 8 count whenever he believes the boxer can't defend himself or isn't defending himself. It does not necessarily mean a point deduction like it is in the professionals. Davidson getting behind Jones. Very good way to not get hit. Davidson, hard left hook. Jones trying to respond now, adjusting his headgear, and yeah, you would need to after getting hit with that shot. Jones switching to southpaw, back up against the corner. 10 seconds left in the round. We'll see how the boxers react to this moment. Davidson with the jab, playing it safe for the final seconds. Maybe anticipating a flurry from Jones, but it does not come as the boxers in the round go back to their corner.
We do have an announcement to make. We have a black Acura.
If you're Coach John Brown, I think you're pretty happy with Davidson's performance in that first round. Was the much more aggressive fighter, landing the cleaner shots, as noted by the 8 count. If you're Jones, if you're in Jones's corner, I think you're just talking about what punches you need to look out for, how to move your head, and what you're going to be countering with. Because you know Davidson has his offense. It's just a matter of how you're going to deal with it. Davidson's going to land his punches, but how will you respond? So Devonta Jones, I think, is going to look to maybe add a little bit of a defensive wrinkle in this round. Boxers rise. They're ready for the start of this second round in the 152-pound weight class. Jones in the blue trunks, or excuse me, the gray trunks with the blue trim. Davidson in the black tank top. Jones throwing a lead left hand, not landing. Landing that time on a counter. He goes back to the southpaw position, maybe finding a little bit more success. He's not necessarily landing more in southpaw, but I do notice Davidson doesn't throw as much when Jones is southpaw, fighting left-handed, that is. Davidson countering with a hard right to the body. And Davidson going a bit in his shell, maybe looking for a bit of that peekaboo style. made famous by the late, great Floyd Patterson, made into something completely different by Mike Tyson. You're seeing shades of here as Davidson just getting inside but tied up by Jones. And you do not want to give someone like Davidson that kind of momentum. Once he starts rallying off his combinations, you're going to start getting the hurting bombs. You want to limit him to 1 to 2 shots. Jones doing that by moving to his left, negotiating the distance with that jab and a left hand and moving out. Jones showing good movement. And a good left hand right there. And Davidson responds. Davidson going again for another 8 count maybe. Jones doesn't know exactly how to respond, leaving that left hand out, and now just kind of trying to tie up Davidson. Davidson, it looked like, was maybe talking a bit to Jones. Jones back to southpaw. And Jones now with the inside of the ring. We'll see what he does with it. Aggressive left hands, 4 in a row it looked like. Another 1-2 from Jones. Jones doing a good job with his offense. I think a little bit worried about what Davidson's countering with. Davidson done his best work in countering, though he's missing that left hook. Jones slips under it. After the referee broke those two up when they were in the tangled up in the red corner, Jones doing a lot better moving, landing some punches. Davidson looking a little bit frustrated and tied up again. Referee warns Jones not to hold. Davidson warns Jones not to hold by throwing a 1-2. 10 seconds in the round. Last round, neither of the two really tried to take advantage of it, though Jones that time lands a real low blow, it looked like. I don't think it affected Davidson. He kind of shrugged it off and leaves Jones with some parting words. Davidson in the corner, I can guarantee you John Brown's telling him to turn it up a little bit, telling him to throw some more of those combinations that landed so well in those first 2 rounds. Jones in that second round, he really came back a bit. Started out, Davidson was landing hard shots, landed a hard combination in the red corner, but then when he readjusted, had good movement, and was able to pick his shots a little bit, limiting Davidson's offense. Jones fights out at Topeka Golden Gloves, a very good gym, very quality boxers. They also coach the KU boxing team. College boxing is back, and KU, University of Kansas, does have a boxing team. Jones says he wants to have fun and see where boxing takes him. He wants to fight the best in boxing, and he's fighting one of the best in Kansas City, regardless of weight class, Marcus Davidson. Davidson looking to see what Jones is bringing for this 3rd round before responding. Hasn't thrown a punch yet. Jones opening up his stance a little bit. He's staying in southpaw. He's found some success there. Definitely found success in that 2nd round. I don't know if it was enough for him to win that 2nd round. Ooh, and Davidson hesitates. Jones takes advantage, landing 3 clean shots to the face. And he looks to have Davidson maybe a little bit stifled. Not necessarily negating what Davidson's doing, but definitely causing him to think twice before he throws a combination. Davidson going with that left hook. Oh, and he gets hit with a left from Jones, and Jones may have found an opportunity. Davidson trying his best to negate that. Coach John Brown says Marcus Davidson sometimes forgets to hit with power. He's been boxing for 7 years, and that included when he was 13 years old. Didn't really need power. Sometimes Brown has to remind Davidson to throw with mean intentions. And that time he's able to counter Jones effectively, though he may be behind in this round. Maybe a little bit more cautious, believing that he may have taken those first 2 rounds, but nothing's ever guaranteed in this sport. Now Davidson, the aggressor. He's got Jones in the corner. No, doesn't do anything with it. Now he's got him in corner again. And Jones doing a good job getting in, getting out, and landing some shots. Looking a little bit more confident with his hands down. I don't know if that's a good idea with somebody as fast and hard-hitting as Davidson. There's about 1 minute left in the round. Once again, this is Jones' first time in the Kansas City Golden Gloves. This is possible. This is the first time Davidson has ever seen him in the ring. And I think his unorthodox style is giving Davidson some issues. Jones hitting with an uppercut, and now they tie up. Davidson punches out. We're not seeing those combinations we saw in the first and second round from Davidson as he spins Jones around. 10 seconds remaining in the round. Jones, believing they had broken up, he hits Davidson with a left. Just a few seconds remaining. Davidson landing a couple clean shots and a hard left hook. Don't know if it was enough to win the round, but both boxers performing well for themselves. Both should be very proud of that match. Winner of this bout going on to represent Kansas City in the 152-pound weight class at the Nationals in Salt Lake City, Utah. Last time the KC national team was in Salt Lake City. The last time the Golden Glove Nationals were held in Salt Lake City. The Kansas City Golden Glove national team placed second among every franchise throughout the country. Two boxers return to the center of the ring, embrace each other as best they can, and await the final results. Davidson with his right hand outstretched, believing he won the bout. Sharing a similarly unorthodox haircut as his brother. And Davidson flexes and he thanks his opponent. He'll be going on to the Utah to box for Kansas City, winning the 152-pound weight class. And we'll see you right after this.
Human love is the greatest thing for an animal. They don't care if you're rich or poor. All they need is for someone to give them a home with food and water and to love them. Some animals never have a human by their side. Many of them spend time in humane societies or on the streets alone. But with your help, you can make an animal feel loved by adopting one. There are many animals needing a home, and maybe you're the one they're calling for. For more information how to adopt a pet in your area, visit adoptapet.com.
And I'm now joined by our 141-pound champion, the reigning, defending, and now what, three-time champion?
Yes, three-time champion.
So what did you experience? I know you were facing somebody from Turner Boxing Academy, someone you're used to seeing, though you've seen that throughout the tournament. How is it having to face somebody who's from your gym?
It's hard because, you know, we fight. We know what we're going to do. We spar each other every time, so it was a little hard to hit him a little bit because I know what he's going to do. Yeah, that's it.
So how'd you feel you did tonight?
I think I did all right. I think the fans liked what I did. I was a little tired, so I think I did pretty good.
Did he bring anything different? Being somebody you're very familiar with, did he bring anything, a new wrinkle that maybe you had to adjust to?
Yeah, pressure. He came toward me, so he never went toward me, so I had to box him.
Well, now that you're set to go to Salt Lake City, how do you feel you're going to do at Nationals? I know you just came off a big win at the Sugarburt Boxing Tournament. How do you think you're going to do in Salt Lake City?
I think I'm going to do pretty good. Training hard, condition, good shape. I think I'm going to do good.
Great. And do you have anything else to say?
No.
All right, thank you for joining us. Marcell Davidson, excuse me, your 141-pound champ. We'll talk to his brother just after this.
Did you know that a wish granted gives a child and their family a chance to feel normal, stress-free, and may improve their condition?
Did you know it costs an average of $7,500 to grant one child's wish?
Did you know that in 2012, Make-A-Wish granted the wishes of 14,000 children with life-threatening illnesses?
Did you know that every 28 minutes a child is referred to Make-A-Wish? Did you know your gorilla athletes want to make just one of those wishes come true?
I'm Dylan Dolly, Make-A-Wish Chair for the Pittsburgh State Student Athletic Advisory Committee. This year, gorilla student athletes have set a goal to raise $8,000 for Make-A-Wish to hold a wish-granting ceremony for a local kid right here at Pittsburgh State. Visit pitstategorillas.com and click on the Make-A-Wish logo to donate. It is a secure donation site, and every little bit will help us reach our goal. Thank you for sharing the power of a wish.
And welcome back. We invite you to stick around. This is going to be a great bout in the 165 Senior Men's Open weight class, fighting for the 165 championship. We'll be talking to Marcus Davidson after the first round of this bout between Calvin Metcalf of Authentic Boxing and Chase Calloway of Team Calloway. Chase Calloway, very great amateur pedigree, 5-time junior national champion, 2006 ringside world tournament champion, 2008 national junior golden gloves. It goes on. Coming out of the red corner, Calvin Metcalf in the black trunks with the white trim. That man is a machine, and honestly a painful one at that. Chase Calloway is going to have to take all of his tricks to deal with this, and they're getting right at it. Chase Calloway much more aggressive than he was in the semifinals, really taking the fight to Metcalf, who typically doesn't have to deal with the kind of blunt force trauma that he brings. Chase giving him a little hip toss. Maybe unintentional, but I'm sure he's not afraid of roughing it up inside with Metcalf. Metcalf, the slower boxer, and he throws very wide punches. Chase Calloway could take advantage of that. The thing with Metcalf, though, he hits hard, he hits often, and he does not stop. Both boxers tying up a little bit. We're not seeing the activity I'm used to from Metcalf. Probably due to Calloway's aggression, doing a great job keeping Metcalf off balance with 1-2s. Tying up now. Now something to look for is what they do in the clinch. Both of their styles, well, Metcalf's style that is, as he lands a hard right hand, leads very much to clinches, but the thing is Metcalf does not stop punching in the clinch. He'll hit the elbows, he'll hit the hips, he does not care. Chase Calloway, the more of a prototypical boxer. If you were drawing up what you want your child to look like boxing, it's probably about what he's doing. It's very technically sound. Metcalf taking Calloway to the ropes and just banging on the side. Metcalf making sure he has the better of the physical advantage, trying to take the inside of the ring, pushing Calloway to the ropes. His style wears you down. It's just a grating, grinding style. Calloway hitting Metcalf with a quick hook. Metcalf responding with some slugging punches. And again, you see how Metcalf literally does not stop punching as he just, like a locomotive, revs up to go. He doesn't care if it's a real punch. He doesn't care if it's a landing punch. He's just going to keep doing it. It's such a physical style, and it wears you down. Many people, when they think of wearing down a boxer, they think of missed punches or punches that don't land, throwing punches. It's the punches that you get hit with that wear you out. It's the weight of your opponent grinding you down. As Chase Calloway in the clinch, looking like he has a little bit of a bloody nose. Responding with a 1-2, 10 seconds left in the round. Calloway looking to try to assert some dominance at the end of this round like he did at the beginning of the round. And it ends with both of the fighters embraced in a clinch. Very competitive round from both of these two. And we are going to be joined now by Marcus Davidson, your 152-pound champ. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing pretty good,
So you were facing Devonta Jones. It looked like he was switching up a lot. He was giving you a lot of different looks. Did that give you any trouble?
No, it didn't give me any trouble. I just had to adapt to it a little bit, change my way, because I thought he was going to come out orthodox. He had a pretty strong left hand, so I made sure I didn't run into that. But other than that, I followed his game plan.
And also, at the same time, how do you feel like you're improving? What do you feel like you need to work on to win the national title?
Well, what I need to work on to win the national title is letting more flurries of punches go, being more active, and being better conditioned. And other than that, I got the skills and everything else to win nationals. Been there, this will be my 4th year going, so I believe this is my year right here.
Well, no doubt you definitely have the skills. I guess the real question everyone wants to know, you or Marcell, who had the better performance?
You know, I got to go back and watch the tape, but I believe my little brother did very good today. He put on a very good boxing clinic, very fast, in and out, very slick fighter. So I believe he did pretty darn good. He might have got it. He might have did way better.
And doing pretty good right now is Calvin Metcalf landing a hard right hand. Thank you so much, Marcus, for joining us. I appreciate it, and good luck at Nationals.
Thank you very much, Tim.
That was Marcus Davidson, your 152-pound champion for the Kansas City Golden Gloves, looking to take that success all the way to Salt Lake City. Metcalf coming out strong in this here second round. Again, completely tied up, not using that as an excuse to stop punching, just coming at you. Chase Calloway, hard shots of his own. Metcalf responding. And it's just a slugging match. It's a battle of attrition right now. That's what Metcalf does best. He turns it into a physical battle. Because honestly, I don't know anyone in Kansas City who's better conditioned than Calvin Metcalf. Metcalf himself wants to be an undisputed professional boxing champion when he's done with the amateurs. And then one day even own his own gym. And right now landing hard rights to Calloway's face. Calloway cooled down by the aggression of Metcalf, trying to respond, trying to find some space. Metcalf just eating his shots and not caring. He's going right through them. Now, when you're facing somebody like Metcalf who likes to punch in the clinch, oftentimes what you got to do is just really crank the arm, almost do an arm bar on the inside. Calloway, he's grabbing the torso, not grabbing the arms, and it's allowing Metcalf to really just beat away at the body regardless if they clinch. And also easily get out of the clinch as well. Metcalf banging shots to end the round. And right now, if you're Larry Edgar, head coach of Authentic, I think you're telling Metcalf he's doing everything absolutely right. And whether or not you gave that first round to Calloway, that second round was clearly Calvin Metcalf's, the Kansas City, Missouri native. Now, if I'm Rob Calloway in the corner of my son, Chase Calloway, I think what you're looking for is distance and angles, looking for ways to find distance. Now, the problem is Metcalf not afraid to lead with his face. You can't really dissuade him by just punching him. You have to find ways to stop his momentum, and I think a lot of that's going to have to be physically with his body, not just even purely with the punches and maybe just find his spots as they separate from clinches. Calloway also has, looks like a string hanging from his left glove. Don't know if that's going to stop the round at all. And here, our final round of the 165-pound championships. They have 3 minutes to determine who's going on to Salt Lake City. And the referee is going to stop the contest for just a second, removing that string we talked about. And it's back on, back at it. I like to see that aggression from Calloway. He's going straight to Metcalf. Honestly, it's the last round. You're not saving it for anything. And Calloway having trouble with his headgear. It was turned all the way to the side. I'm sure all the sweat and a little bit of blood, but also just maybe a bit ill-fitting isn't helping him out. He's landing clean shots on Metcalf, sticking and moving. Metcalf, when he's inside, it doesn't matter if you clinch him, it doesn't matter if you're letting him punch. He's going to punch no matter what. But Calloway Calloway having a lot of success when they are outside of the clinch, just finding trouble, getting some space to take a breath in between these moments. And Calloway getting hit with some clean head blows. And a nice hook is countered by a strong right hand from Metcalf, and he may have Calloway a little dazed. Referee Chris Walden breaks the contest, but does not stop the action. Metcalf getting right back at it, and he may have a moment on Calloway, may have a moment of vulnerability, that is. Another clean right hand. Even hitting him with uppercuts. And it's the punches you don't see coming that hurts the most, and I guarantee Calloway doesn't see any of these punches coming. And the referee is going to take a timeout to get this headgear adjusted, get it tightened, giving a lot of problems for Calloway. Not as much problems as Calvin Metcalf is giving Calloway. But Calloway going right back, walking straight to Metcalf. Spending every second trying to win this bout. Good counters from Calloway. Both boxers not defending a lot of punches. They're landing them though. Chase Calloway has no response for Metcalf's right hand. He's landing it every single time. Calloway clinching up, finds no reprieve, breaks it back out, tries to counter with a combo. Metcalf works the body. Final 10 seconds of the round. We'll see how both boxers finish it up. Both boxers fighting like they were behind in those final 10 seconds. Though Calvin Metcalf confident he has won. We're awaiting the final results to see who wins the 165-pound championship. The crowd giving a lot of love to these two boxers who had very gutsy performances. And it looks like here's our results.
Once again, make some noise for both of these fighters out here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Calvin Metcalf.
And in our last three bouts, we get three returning champions. Looks like this team will look very similar to last year's team. We already have Calvin Metcalf, now three-time consecutive champion. Marcus Davidson coming off consecutive championships. Marcell Davidson, Dan Abram, a returning champion. Tevin Moore, a returning champion. And we're seeing how this Kansas City team will shape up.
Are you afraid that your child might have dyslexia or a reading difficulty? If so, you're not alone. 1 in 5 children experience reading failure. Your child might have dyslexia or a reading difficulty if he or she sounds out the first part of a word and guesses the rest of it, avoids reading, is falling behind his or her class in reading, or hates to read out loud. We know how much parents and teachers worry about their children and students who are experiencing reading difficulty. Complete the online assessment with your child at readingscreening.org.
Deshon Webster, a returning Kansas City Golden Gloves champion. He took this weight class last year, winning the 178-pound championship. He only has 15 bouts. He's grown very much in just a very few amount of fights, only boxing for 3 years. He has a 10-5 record, which for amateurs is great. He's hoping to become one day a boxing promoter. While he's in boxing, he wants to be a 2-time division champion in the Golden Gloves tournament, regionals and nationals. He also plans to go professional. Out of the blue corner, he comes from Galena, Kansas. Ethan Cooper, 27 years old, 8 of those years boxing. He has 31 bouts with a winning record, 19-12, coached by Dallas Cook. And we're on. Ethan Cooper coming out the gate strong with a straight right hand. He definitely has the experience and the pedigree over Deshon Webster. Cooper did not fight in last year's Kansas City Golden Glove Championships. Webster, again, winning the 178-pound weight class. And I mentioned how in 2010, Ethan Cooper won his Golden Glove Championships over yours truly. Trust me, he did not have those biceps, or else your humble announcer would not be looking as glorious today. Moore with the reach. He looks a little bit shorter. Maybe that's because of the stance he's taken, but definitely has the longer arms. Neither boxer, Ethan Cooper, did not have to, both got buys into the championship. So we have not seen them yet in this tournament this year. Both still kind of feeling each other out. When you get two guys who are similar sized, about the same height, about the same reach, it can be awkward as far as figuring out who's going to be the aggressor, who's going to try to box or counterpunch. Definitely looks like Ethan Cooper is trying to fill that aggressor category. Cooper in the blue trunks, blue camo trunks that is, with a white trim. Deshon Webster, black top, black trunks. Trying his best to get away from Cooper at the moment. Webster up against the ropes, able to flip that. Now he's back in the center of the ring. Cooper just slowly walking him down, not even having a punch to get him to the corner. Not a lot of clean punches landing so far. Both still trying to maybe figure out each other's styles. Webster moving, using his space. Both trade hooks, now tied up. Final 10 seconds of the round. Nice right hand from Cooper, responded by Webster. No clean punches landing to end the round, but they shake hands after trying to exchange some combos.
Final time to get some Kansas City 2016 Golden Gloves merchandise.
Dallas Cook, as we said, a former Kansas City Golden Glove national team coach, very experienced, runs a great gym down in Galena, Kansas. Ethan Cooper also was coaching himself in the corner earlier in the tournament, the previous 2 days. Deshon Webster out of Community Boxing, who has had some success so far in this tournament. Dan Abram being an example, who will be on the national team. They're looking to send their second Kansas City Golden Glove champion on this year's team. Coached by Lawrence Abdallah, also on the Kansas City Golden Glove Board of Directors. And we're ready to start the second round of this bout. Ethan Cooper looking to win the Kansas City Golden Gloves, go on and win nationals before turning pro eventually. Deshon Webster, young in the sport, maybe not so young in life, 25 years old, but married for 4 years with 2 children. Hopefully they're in the audience watching him, cheering him on. Cooper going with some jabs. Cooper doing a great job of listening to his coach in the corner, doing exactly the combinations he's hearing from Coach Cook. Said put a 3 on him, and there you saw, hook to the body. Both of these boxers not really throwing more than 1 or 2 punches at a time. You would think there would be opportunities for counter punching, but not a whole lot going on from either. Boxers reset. The referee is going to warn them to stop clinching. They friendly touch gloves. Cooper in the blue camo trunks fighting out of the blue corner. Webster, black trunks, red gloves. Strong right hand, but followed up by a Cooper counter. Misses a left hook wide. Nice 1-2 from Ethan Cooper. Cooper, for his part, as he gets hit with a hard left, does seem to be the more active of the two. Webster looking for 1 or 2 shots at a time. Worked well for him last year as he gets hit with a right hand there. And then Ethan with some nice head movement, nice ring generalship, getting out of the way and switching places with Webster. Now he has him back up against the turnbuckle. Left hook for Webster, hits shoulder. Lands with a jab to the body, though. Neither fighter looking particularly tired, both just a little bit hesitant. Once you get to 178 pounds, it slows down a bit, not just because they're a little bit slower, but because they hit a lot harder. And there's a lot more power coming your way. Webster, again, just 15 bouts. That's very young in an amateur career. By 15 bouts, I didn't even have a style yet, much less win an open championship. Webster doing well for himself, but still learning on the job in a lot of ways. Both boxers tie up, 10 seconds left. Who's going to land the final blow? Webster looking for it. But neither boxer lands to end the round. With these two boxers not having a whole lot of activity, a lot of it will come down to who's countering at the right moments, who's doing the right time to not only be first, but then also be last. I think both of their gas tanks are still fairly full. It hasn't been a high-intensity bout. Now, this is tiring no matter how high intensity it is, but they both look in pretty good shape. Cooper, 27 years old, looking for another shot at being a champion. Webster looking to retain his championship. Both feeling each other out with jabs early on. Webster takes the first real shot with a hook. Coach Cook tells Ethan Cooper to don't wait on him, be first. Looking for a more aggressive Ethan Cooper. Webster landing a nice right hand as he falls into Cooper. Coach Abdallah in the corner yelling for more of those, more right hands. About getting a little bit more physical with a little bit more clinches. You don't see that infighting that we saw in our last bout with Calvin Metcalf. Both letting a lot of time go by without a lot of action. Looks like they're figuring each other out. I will say Cooper's been the more active of the two, but maybe not necessarily the cleaner puncher. This bout could go either way, and a lot of it could be decided, when there's not a lot of activity, could be decided in the final seconds of the round. Webster trying to stay outside. When he's inside, he's clinching. Thing is, also with the 10-point must system, when they're not counting the punches you land, a lot of times you can take advantage of somebody trying to box you, who's trying to stay outside, by getting inside, throwing a lot of punches. And even if they don't land, if they try to clinch up, it makes it look like you're just the more active boxer by just coming forward, by simplicity of coming forward. And that ring generalship coming into the judging can really have a huge impact. Cooper, nice 1-2, then the clinch. Webster fighting out. Now he has the inside of the ring, but misses a right hand and doesn't take advantage. Coach Cook asking Cooper to stay on him. Wants to keep up that aggression. Ending it with a nice hook, 10 seconds in the round. Final seconds of the fight, they're going to end it in a clinch on the ropes. And the boxers embracing. And we await the judges' scorecards to see who is the 178-pound champion.
They say some souls were just born to run, and I grew up thinking I was one. But I'm drawn to Kansas, where I come from.
Ethan Cooper, Deshon Webster, waiting to hear the results of their bout. 178 pounds. Solid workman-like performances from both of them. And here's the decision. And there's the audience appreciation for this. And now let's listen to the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, judges have made the decision. And your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Deshon Webster.
And your winner, Deshon Webster, out of the red corner from Community Boxing.
I rose to glory as the 20s roared. I wept with you through dust and want, gave courage through dark years of war. And then came peace, and we laughed wholeheartedly once again.
And we're coming on to our final bout of the evening. Your 201-pound fight, the heavyweights. Cam F. Awesome versus Tristan James. Cam F. Awesome actually was unopposed in the heavyweight division. This fight actually a matched bout between himself and the Iowa Golden Glove champion. He is facing Tristan James. He's from Southeast Boxing Gym in Iowa. He's an Iowa Golden Glove champion and a ringside world champion. Tristan James faced off with Cam F. Awesome about 5 times. They know each other well. So it's going to be an interesting fight to see what he brings to the future Olympian.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tristan James.
Cam F. Awesome, certainly the favorite in this bout. He's certainly the favorite in every bout he participates in. And also, he's a favorite of the media. You may have seen him on Highly Questionable with Dan Le Batard. He was on Sports Nation, multiple ESPN appearances. You may remember him from his viral interview after losing a close split decision, which he believed he won. Just look up Taylor Swift of boxing. That's his self-proclaimed title. But then again, I guess you get on the Olympic team, you can call yourself whatever you want, as he gives a curtsy to Tristan James. Now, if you haven't seen Cam F. Awesome perform before, be prepared for what we could politely call an unorthodox style. You won't see his style in any kind of textbook. You won't see his style be taught to anyone in any real way. It's definitely the most frustrating thing to face on the planet, so I've been told by his opponents. Cam landing a straight left hand, fighting southpaw tonight. Actually a battle of two southpaws. Tristan James also going left-handed. Shaking his head no to Cam, saying you did not land that body shot. Didn't land that right hook either. Now, it sounds like everyone's just gone completely dead silent and pulled out their phone. They know they're watching future Olympian and possible gold medal winner. He's definitely one of the favorites on the U.S. men's Olympic team. Cam feeling out James with a jab. James landing a nice left hand. You heard John Brown say, tighten up, Tyson. Then all of a sudden, Cam comes at him with some power. He's not going to let James get by just doing what he wants. Cam showing him which city he's in. As Cam would call it, it's Cam's city. Get it? Yeah, it's funny. He's a funny guy. Cam actually a stand-up comedian in his part-time. Also a Big Brothers Big Sisters volunteer. See, if you haven't seen him in the community, you probably just didn't recognize him because he's everywhere all the time, it seems. One-two from James, followed up by some thunderous hooks from Cam. Now, Awesome isn't typically the one to maybe present himself as a power puncher. This is something that's kind of come later in his career. He's much more defined muscle tone, also much more aggressive than a lot of times you've seen him. A lot of times he just likes to stand back, use his head movement. He has great anticipation of not only when his opponent is going to throw, but also what they're going to throw. And he comes at you from the most insane angles you will ever see. James doing well in that exchange, getting some right hands, has Cam up against the ropes. Not doing much with the real estate. Nice hook from Awesome. And a good competitive round from both boxers. And in the loudspeakers, they're playing some Taylor Swift. He calls himself the Taylor Swift of boxing. Nobody really knows why, but he says it a lot. James, on the other hand, a relative unknown in Kansas City, comes from the Iowa Golden Gloves, a champion in Iowa Golden Gloves. Fought Cam about 5 times. They know each other well. He's trying to bring something different and trying to get a win over the coming Olympian. And the ref orders the coaches out. Awesome skipping to his loo, getting ready to come out for round 2. Now we say Awesome has an atypical style. When you watch him, as if you haven't followed his career very much, you may look at him and say, you know, what makes him so successful? What makes him a 4-time U.S. national champion, a 5-time ringside world champion, a 2-time Olympian, captain of the U.S. national boxing team? You know, and it's really just a lot of instinct and God-given talent. There's nothing that he does especially well that you would say, oh, a coach taught him that. Oh, he's just a great athlete. He doesn't hit particularly hard. He's not the fastest one there, but sometimes he finds a way to win every single time. Tristan James responding to Cam's aggression with some of his own, both expanding some hooks. James smiling back at him. Guess Awesome's not the only one with a goofy personality. Awesome, going for an uppercut and a hook, missing wildly. James taking advantage of the aggression. I think Cam, he doesn't get a fight in Kansas City very often. I think he's trying to put on a show a little bit, and maybe James is taking advantage. Awesome, definitely very aggressive. Wouldn't be shocked if he's trying to go for a stoppage. And the audience very silent, just being very attentive to every punch of this fight. Some of the boxers you didn't see on the telecast because they were walkover champions. Eddie Guillen going to be on the national team for super heavyweights. Cam just at 201 pounds as he starts maybe a little gamesmanship with James. Referee warns him about using his shoulder. James landing a nice 1-2. Cam turning it around, trying to take advantage on the ropes. You can make a good argument for James winning this round so far, as he has Cam backed up now, and he works the body. Not landing a whole lot. Awesome using some good defense, but definitely getting a lot of points for aggression. And he's keeping Cam right in his place. Cam's most effective when he has space to move around, move his head, use his awkward movement. If you get him pinned up against the ropes, you really can't do that. Final 10 seconds of the second round, 201-pound fights. Cam really bringing out some hard shots to end the round. Not just the final round of the fight, it's the final round of the night. And James preparing himself mentally. Cam kicks the turnbuckle and gets ready to end the night out, hopefully with a pop. Cam looks like he's calming down a little bit for this final round. Tristan James with the reach, looking to counter his jabs with left hands. Coach Brown instructs Cam to throw a combination, and hey, we see a combination. Cam F. Awesome, also very avid on social media. Just look up at Cam F. Awesome on pretty much anything, and he's probably posted about 100 times in the last 20 minutes. Hard hooks from both boxers. Cam trying to work more of the jab in this final round. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in the first two rounds. James, on the other hand, more content to stay on the outside. First two rounds, he was maybe just, he was either in or he was out. He was going forward with bombs or he wasn't in there. Now he's trying to use some distance. Cam, I think he senses that James is a little bit tired and trying to take advantage of it. And we talked about Calvin Metcalf maybe being the best conditioned athlete in Kansas City. The other would probably be Cam F. Awesome. You know, you got to make the argument between the other two. When you have an internationally renowned athlete, yeah, he might be the best conditioned. Who knows? Lands a hard uppercut on James. Cam just keeps going for that uppercut. He wants to make a statement in this final round. James hits a lot of elbow. Cam responds with a flurry. Cam going into his shell, only opening up for some hooks and uppercuts. Hitting him with another hard left. Referee breaks it up. They reset in the center of the ring. Cam, hard left hand. Another one. These may be the best punches in the fight so far. And I think he's got James hurt. James is smiling at him. But a smile only shows that you felt that punch. Cam going to the body again, back upstairs after. He's really tightening up that defense on the corner. 10 seconds left in the fight. Let's see how he ends it. Awesome, hard left. Coming back to the body. James going to the head. James maybe struggling a bit to get to the end of the round, but it comes. The end of the round, the end of the fight. 201-pound championships. Cam F. Awesome, future Olympian, and Kansas City, I guess, heartthrob? Is that the right word? Maybe just treasure. We'll go treasure. And we just want to recap tonight's action. Tevin Moore, your 114-pound champion. Dan Abram, your 132-pound champion. Marcell Davidson, your 141-pound champion. Marcus Davidson, your 152-pound champion. Calvin Metcalf at 165. Deshon Webster, your 178-pound champ. And now we're about to see if Cam F. Awesome ends the night on a win. And
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner tonight.
Here are the results.
The winner of the 2016 Kansas City Golden Gloves Men's Senior Open, your champion, fighting out of the red corner, Cam F. Awesome. Clap your hands, ladies and gentlemen.
And was there any doubt? Cam F. Awesome taking home the 201-pound championship bout. Cam, again, a U.S. national team captain, a 4-time U.S. national champion, a 5-time ringside world champion. He pretty much has everything on a boxer's resume, an amateur boxer's resume, that you would want, except for a gold medal. He's still waiting to get his Olympic gold medal. He'll have a chance to do that this summer in Rio.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for standing this long for me. I'm usually very shy. I don't know what to say, so we keep it short. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for supporting the Golden Gloves 81st annual longest running sporting event in Kansas City. So we appreciate the support and hope to get with the Royals and sporting guests. Shoot for the stars. Thank you.
And Cam F. Awesome thanks the fans for coming out. And we'll hopefully hear from him at least one more time before the night ends. And welcome back. The crowd has left now, but they were full for your fight. And how was it like fighting back in Kansas City?
I wish we'd have got this a little earlier so you could have seen the millions of people in the crowd. It's always amazing fighting in Kansas City. I rarely get to do it, so anytime I do get a chance, a lot of people come out and support. And I'm super grateful for the support because it would be really weird if we were fighting by ourselves without a crowd.
And let me ask you this. Speaking of fighting, obviously, you do it very well. But I gotta ask, for everyone who's ever watched you, how do you make that style work?
It's great because guys can't prepare for me, guys can't practice or find someone to imitate my style, so it's very unique. It throws a lot of people off because people call it awkward, but I believe it's very effective. The idea is to hit and not get hit, and I'm not a very strong power puncher, but I sat in there through a few good body shots, so I'm pretty happy about my performance tonight.
What were you doing, showing off for the local crowd?
No, I'm changing from super heavyweight to heavyweight, and now instead of fighting guys 270, I'm fighting guys my size. So I can throw with a little bit of power without the fear of them returning backfire and them having a 60-pound weight advantage.
And speaking of heavyweight, you're at heavyweight, U.S. men's national team captain. How do you see your chances in Rio?
I see them very well. I can't get there and experience the whole thing. It will be amazing getting gold, hearing my national anthem, coming back to Kansas City to hopefully a parade.
Well, thank you very much. Cam F. Awesome, 201-pound Kansas City Golden Gloves champion. Thank all of the champions out there, and we'd like to thank you for joining us. Great fights, great night. Have a good one.